She posted a list called Things I'd Change About My Husband. 2 weeks later, she married another man. But karma had other plans. We'd been married 2 years. I'm Daniel, 29. We met at a 4th of July barbecue, married the next spring, and spent our first year fitting our days around shifts and projects. We promised each other a life built together, not a list of demands. That night, the promise split. Dinner was at our favorite Italian. The place felt soft with low lights. My fork clicked against the plate, and the room changed. Her phone lay face down. I asked if she was all right. She did not look up. She said, "You don't understand what women need." It landed like a verdict. We had argued before, about money, about time, about small things that grew. 2 months earlier, we had disagreed about children. I wanted to wait until we were settled. She did not want to wait forever. We agreed to revisit it. By the second course, that agreement was gone. At 9:02 p.m., my sister sent a screenshot. Sarah's post was public, a neat list titled, "If I Could Change My Husband." Bullet points read like accusations. More drive, stop being passive about kids, and the line that cut deepest, "You don't understand what women need." Comments rang with clapping emojis and a heart from someone I did not know. The restaurant noise shrank to the background. I pushed my chair back, and it scraped against the floor. People glanced, then looked away. Sarah's face did not change. Her eyes were flat. I tried to keep my voice steady and asked if she had posted it. She shrugged. Yes. Her tone said she had made up her mind. "You posted our fight," I said. She said maybe I should have decided sooner. Her words closed like a door. I said she should not humiliate me in public. She traced the rim of her glass and turned her gaze away. No apology. No attempt to repair. She stood and said she needed space. 2 days later, she left with a duffel and a smile that did not reach her eyes. On the kitchen counter, she left a note that began, "You never made me a priority," and ended with, "I deserve better." I read it under a single bulb at 2:13 a.m., hands that would not stop moving. I called her. She answered once and said, "I'm done." The line went dead. After she left, the apartment felt smaller. Her toothbrush was gone from the holder. A framed wedding photo lay face down in the trash. A bowl of spaghetti cooled in the sink. Those small things became proof of absence. I sat in my car with the dashboard light on, replaying the night sequence by sequence. I did not post online. I did not shout. I went quiet in a way that weighed more than anger. The first week, I moved through work like a man learning a new speech. The words existed but did not fit. Friends messaged. Family checked in. I answered in short notes. I did not want pity, and I did not want explanations. I wanted the parts of my life that still made sense. There was no neat revelation that fixed anything. There was only a set of new facts I had to accept. Some promises fray slowly, others break all at once. That Friday taught me how quickly someone can walk out and take the future with them. 2 weeks after Sarah left, the silence settled in for good. The apartment no longer smelled like her shampoo. The living room looked untouched, almost like a stage after the actors have gone home. I thought the quiet would heal me, but it only echoed everything she'd taken. Then, one afternoon, my phone buzzed. A friend from college had texted, "Dude, you've seen this, right?" Attached was a screenshot from Sarah's profile, a wedding photo. Her caption read, "Married to the love of my life." The post was dated 13 days after she'd signed our divorce papers. The groom's name was Mark. I didn't recognize him, but his face was everywhere on her feed, the same man who had been liking her posts for months. My stomach tightened. 2 days after saying, "I'm done," she'd said, "I do." That realization didn't make me angry at first. It made me still. I sat on the edge of my bed, phone glowing in my hand, scrolling through comments from people congratulating me. Hearts, champagne emojis, and finally, remarks. I wasn't sure which hurt more, the betrayal or the public applause for it. I tried to sleep that night, but couldn't. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw that list she'd posted, things I'd change about my husband. Now, she'd found someone new. I wondered if he had the ambition she wanted so badly. A week later, rumors began circulating through mutual friends. Someone mentioned she might be pregnant already. I didn't want to believe it, but the timeline made no sense otherwise. 2 months before the divorce, we'd still been trying to fix things. Now she was married and expecting? How fast could someone replace years with a few Instagram stories? Apparently, faster than I could finish grieving. That weekend, I broke my silence and messaged her. "Is it true?" Her reply came within a minute. "We're happy." Just that. No explanation, no answer. 3 words that felt mechanical. I stared at the screen for a long time, then deleted the chat. Her silence was louder than anything she could have said. A few nights later, I received a voicemail from her mother. Her voice was careful, like she was walking on glass. "Daniel, I'm sorry about everything." Sarah said she's sorry too. She just didn't know how to make it right. It sounded less like an apology and more like a rumor she'd been told to deliver. I listened to it 3 times, then erased it. That should have been closure. But closure never arrives clean. I told myself to move on, to stop checking her page, but curiosity has its own gravity. I didn't block her. I convinced myself it was for peace of mind. In truth, it was for proof. Proof that she was fine, that she didn't regret it, that I was right to let go. At first, her posts looked like a highlight reel of happiness. A tropical honeymoon, champagne glasses, hashtags about new beginnings. Each picture was a performance of joy. Every smile looked rehearsed. But then one post made me stop scrolling. It was a photo from their supposed honeymoon. Sarah standing on a beach, hand on her stomach, smiling. Dozens of congratulatory comments poured in. But buried between them was one that changed everything. Wait, wasn't this taken months ago? The commenter was someone I vaguely remembered from Sarah's old workplace. Her tone wasn't mean, just confused. But that one line cracked open something I'd ignored. The same 10 lines. The same nail color. The same background from a beach trip before our divorce was even final. I just stared at the image, realizing what that meant. This wasn't spontaneous love. It was rehearsed. Planned. Every design meeting. Every late-night client call. They weren't work. They were practice runs for a new life she'd been building while still living with me. That night, I didn't cry. I didn't text anyone. I just sat there in the dark, phone screen dimmed, realizing the truth. She hadn't replaced me overnight. She'd been leaving long before she walked out. And the best part? I didn't need to expose her. Karma already had her address. After that beach photo, I stopped pretending I didn't know. The truth had been there for months, in her late replies, the way she'd started calling me Daniel instead of Dan, like she was slowly detaching herself from the name that once meant love. Every sign had been a warning I refused to see. I didn't confront her. What was the point? She'd already rewritten our story online, made herself the brave woman who found the right one. I wasn't about to play the villain in her new version, so I stayed quiet. Silence can be its own kind of revenge. It makes people face themselves without distraction. A month passed before life decided to show me how karma works. I was picking up groceries on a normal Thursday, trying to act like everything was fine. That's when I saw her mother. She froze near the fruit section, holding a basket of apples. Her face softened when she saw me. "Daniel," she said gently, "I'm sorry about everything." Her tone carried something heavier than guilt, almost fear. I didn't ask anything, but she went on anyway, as if she needed to get it out. "She's not doing well," she said. "Sarah." I stayed still. My hands were gripping the cart too tightly. Her mother sighed. "Mark, he's not who she thought. He's been seeing other women. Bragging about it, actually. He's not rich like he told her. That car was leased, the ring was borrowed, and the apartment's under another woman's name." Each sentence was like another small, dull strike against the air between us. And then she said the part that stuck. "She's 3 months pregnant. But their marriage isn't even 2 months old." Her voice went soft at the end, almost a whisper. "She's trying to hide it. But people talk." I didn't say a word. I just nodded, thanked her, and walked away. My hands felt cold against the handle of the shopping cart. I couldn't process it, not fully. In the parking lot, I sat in my car and let the engine idle. The noise from outside faded. It wasn't satisfaction I felt. Not anger either. Just a strange emptiness. All that time she'd spent performing happiness online. And now, she was stuck in her own lie. When she'd made that list about me, she'd said I lacked ambition, that I didn't fight hard enough for what I wanted. But maybe the thing she called ambition was just restlessness, the constant need for more attention, more validation, the kind that eats through any real connection. That night, I looked at that old post again, things I'd change about my husband. Every flaw she'd listed, patience, calmness, quietness, was exactly what Mark didn't have. She'd traded stability for excitement, and now she was paying for it. It didn't make me happy. If anything, it made me sad how predictable it all was. She'd wanted something louder, faster, shinier. But the moment she got it, it burned out like cheap fireworks. I didn't reach out. I didn't tell anyone. I didn't even save the gossip messages my friends sent me. I didn't need to. Karma had started its work, and it didn't need my help. Weeks passed. The noise around her perfect marriage faded. The post slowed down, then stopped. For the first time in months, I felt peace, not from winning, but from finally being free. Still, a part of me wondered how long it would take before she came back, not out of love, but because there was nowhere else left to go. Turns out, I didn't have to wait long. Because 2 months later, on a rainy Thursday night, she did come back. And when I opened the door, she didn't look like the woman who'd once walked out on me. She looked like someone who'd finally met her own reflection. It was raining hard that Thursday night. The kind of rain that makes everything quiet outside. I was halfway through a movie when I heard a knock on the door. 3 slow knocks, followed by silence. When I opened it, she was standing there. Hood up, hair damp, eyes red. Sarah. It took me a second to recognize her. The woman who once posted things I'd change about my husband didn't look like the confident person from those filtered photos. She looked tired, smaller somehow, like the weight of her choices had finally caught up. Dan, please, she said softly. I didn't know where else to go. For a moment, I thought about closing the door, but I didn't. Maybe it was pity, maybe curiosity, maybe a part of me just wanted to hear what she'd say. She stepped inside without waiting for me to answer. Her shoes left small wet prints on the floor. I noticed she carried one suitcase, scuffed, half-zipped, stuffed with clothes. She sat at the kitchen table, the same table she once said was too small, too plain. She kept her hands folded, staring at the wood grain like it held the right words for her. I made mistakes, she said quietly. Mark isn't who I thought he was. I didn't say anything. I just leaned against the counter, arms crossed. She went on. He cheated. With more than one person. He took my savings. Said the baby isn't his, that I ruined his life. Then he left. Took my car too. Her voice cracked on the last part. I didn't move. I waited for guilt to come, for sympathy, something. But all I felt was distance, calm, measured distance. I finally asked, was it mine? Her eyes flickered. For a second, I saw the old Sarah, the one who used to twist her hair when she was nervous. Then she nodded slowly. Yes. Everything stopped for a moment. I thought back to the nights she said she was working late, the way she avoided touch, the way she turned every talk into an argument. The puzzle pieces all clicked into place, painfully neat. You lied, I said. Not angry, just stating a fact. She looked down, tears hitting her hands. I didn't know how to tell you. I thought you'd hate me. I didn't need to hate you, I said quietly. You did that to yourself. She wiped her face. Dan, I'm sorry. I was stupid. I thought he could give me what you couldn't. But he wasn't real. I just want a second chance. For the baby. For us. I let out a slow breath. She waited for me to say something, anything. But I just looked at her. The same woman who once said I didn't understand what women need was now asking me for understanding she'd never offered. I said, you used to tell me I wasn't ambitious enough, that I didn't fight for what I wanted. She nodded. Well, I continued, you were right about one thing. I didn't fight, not for you. But I'm fighting for my peace now. She stood up, voice breaking. Please, Dan. I stepped back. I'll take care of the baby if it's mine. But we are done. The words were calm. Final. For a moment, she just stared at me, like she was trying to find a way to undo the last year. But the space between us was too wide now. She nodded slowly, picked up her suitcase, and walked out into the rain. I watched her go, not with anger, just quiet certainty. For the first time, it didn't hurt. It felt like closing a book that had been stuck open for too long. 6 months passed after that night. The rain had long stopped, but I remembered the sound of it every time I passed that door. It was the sound of an ending, and, in a way, a quiet beginning. The baby was born in early spring. His name is Lucas. When I got the message from her mother, I wasn't sure if I wanted to see him. But I went anyway. Not for her, for the truth. The paternity test confirmed it. He was mine. The first time I saw him, he was sleeping in a small blanket, one tiny fist resting against his cheek. He didn't ask for any of this. Not the lies, not the drama, not the hurt. He was just here, innocent. I felt something loosen in me when I held him. The weight I'd carried for months didn't vanish, but it finally felt lighter. Sarah didn't look at me much that day. She was sitting by the window in her parents' house, quieter than I'd ever seen her. The confidence, the sharp tone, all of it was gone. Life had humbled her in ways I never could. We talked a bit about Lucas, feeding schedules, doctor visits, the usual. Nothing personal. No mention of us. I think she knew there was nothing left to fix. I started visiting every weekend. I'd take Lucas for a walk, sometimes feed him while her mother chatted in the background. Sarah would stay in her room most of the time. When we did speak, it was short, polite. No arguments. No apologies either, just a strange kind of calm. Then one day, she left a letter on the baby's stroller. Folded neatly, my name on the front. I didn't open it right away. That night, after I put Lucas down, I finally read it. I ruined the only person who ever loved me right. I thought I was choosing happiness, but I was really just running from my own reflection. You were patient when I didn't deserve it. I'll live with what I did forever. There was no begging, no excuses, just honesty, maybe for the first time. I folded the letter back and kept it in a drawer, not as a reminder of pain, but of the lesson that followed it. I didn't reply. I didn't need to. Forgiveness isn't something you hand out like a prize. Sometimes it's just the piece you decide to keep for yourself. Life slowly returned to normal. I moved to a new place, one with sunlight that hit the kitchen in the mornings. I started reading again, running again, living again. The quiet didn't feel empty anymore. It felt earned. Sarah stayed at her parents' house, working part-time, keeping to herself. She deleted her social media, vanished from the noise she used to live in. People said she'd changed. Maybe she had, but that wasn't for me to find out. Sometimes I still think about that night at the Italian restaurant, the one where she said, "You don't understand what women need." Back then, those words felt like a knife. Now, they sound different. Because the truth is, I did understand. I just couldn't be what she thought she needed. Constant attention, validation, the chase of something new. I gave her stability, love, and time. She mistook that for complacency. In the end, love didn't fail her. She failed to recognize it. Now, I have Lucas. I have peace. And I have a life that doesn't need to prove anything to anyone. If she ever finds peace, too, I hope it's real this time. She once said I didn't understand what women need. Turns out, she never understood what love really was.